Okay, kids, special announcement today. I've been given instructions by the principal and from the district school board of Niagara that there are no exams for this course this year, but I've been asked to create some other type of summative activity, a final assessment task, if you will, FAT, final assessment task, to try to gauge your understanding in this course. So I've created something, and this video is an explanation video that shows you what my expectations are so that we're all on the same page. So what is the goal of this uh, summer activity, this final assessment task? It's to properly solve a physics problem and properly explain your solutions with detail. This is the most important part right here. This is where the majority of the marks will be. Yeah, we want you to solve a physics problem, but I'm really interested in your explanation. So let me take you through this. This is the instruction sheet, and I've put a link to this so you can have access to it. But this is the instruction sheet for this final assessment task. And it says, set up your question response to have two columns. So you're going to divide your paper into two columns. Use paper and pencil, oopsie, use paper and pencil and take a photo or use a computer program to document your work. Then upload your work to the D2L quiz response area. That's where you're going to submit your work. I'll show you that later. If you feel it would be helpful to further prove your deep understanding of physics concepts and you want to upload a video response or voice over of you explaining your completed work, then do so. Voice over meaning you would talk over the picture of your solution. Maybe you would put it into some type of video program or voiceover in some type of slide program. I don't know. You guys are better at this than I am. It's an option. And here's why I'm making it an option. It would be wonderful to hear your voices and allow you to be creative. You have a generous and fair amount of time to complete your work. I got to stop doing that. So here we go. The left column, you're going to label formal solution section. Okay, so you're going to put a title, formal solution. Remember, you divided your paper into two. Where all your work is shown with all the steps, no shortcuts. Use the GRASS, given required analysis, substitution, solution format. Okay? I need you to use GRASS. Use all the appropriate units and follow the rules of significant digits. So I'm looking for a nice, beautiful, awesome, formal solution on the left-hand side of the paper. And you'll get some marks for it. Now, on the right-hand side of the paper, where you're going to be getting a lot of marks, all right, you're going to put this column in. Right column is the explanation. What are you thinking and why? What are you thinking about and why are you thinking this as you're solving this? So this is the explanation section where you explain the steps you use to create your solution. Look what I wrote here in big letters. A great amount of detail is needed here. I'm looking for you to use appropriate physics vocabulary. That's where a lot of marks are. Are you using the right words? Explain how you are using physics concepts or laws. Are you showing I'm doing this line in the solution because this corresponds to this concept or this corresponds to this law? Explain your mathematical reasoning. Why? Explain mathematically why one line of your solution leads to the next line. What's going on there? And make sure you are proving your deep understanding of the physics and mathematics. If you want to get marks that are high, you want to prove beyond the shadow of a doubt to me, the person who's going to be evaluating your work, that you have a deep understanding of the physics and mathematics. The explanation is more important than the solution. So let's go over that in short form. You're going to put the title in, formal solution, GRASS. You're going to put the title over here, explanation. What are you thinking and why? Here's the checklist. Is it a formal solution? And it's complete. You'll be getting marked. I'll be checking for that. Are all the steps shown? I'll be looking for that. Check. Are the appropriate units being used? Check. Significant digit rules followed. Check. Is the solution correct? Did you get the right answer? Check. You'll be getting marks. Make sure you get this completed, every bit of the checklist. How about on this side? Our appropriate physics vocabulary, is it used in here? Appropriate physics concepts, laws, is it used with high detail in your explanation? Mathematical reasoning, is it explained with high detail? Is your explanation, does it have a proper sequential order? That means in the right order. Sequential from the word sequence. Does it follow your explanation? Or is it jumping back and forth and everywhere? Is your explanation correct? You may say, I'm using the law of conservation of energy here. Meanwhile, it has nothing to do with it, right? It's got to be correct, your explanation. Now, here's an example of a typical question you might get. You're not getting this one, all right? I'm doing this one as an example. If I gave this one to you, you'd just be copying my work. You're going to get a different question, all right? But here's an example of a question. A ball is thrown vertically upward from a window that is 3.6 meters above the ground. The ball's initial speed is 2.8 meters per second, and the acceleration due to gravity is 9.8 meters per second squared. Here's the questions you're going to answer. What is the ball's speed when it hits the ground? How long is the ball in the air? So here's a typical question you would get. Now, here's an example of a paper and pencil solution. It's in the next page. I'm going to go to it shortly. You might want to use paper and pencil, take a picture. You might want to use a computer word processing program of some type, whatever you want to do. All right. I have decided it would be fun for the solution to have it look like a primary school. Just for fun. I'm getting kind of cabin fever around here. So here we go. Here's what the solution would look like. So look what I've done. I divided my paper in two. I've used grass. I've drawn a picture in grass, right? I've labeled the initial position, 3.6 meters in the air, final position, 0 meters, the initial velocity, 2.8 meters per second. I've said that up is positive. I put the acceleration due to the gravity is negative 9.8 meters per second. And then I'm explaining why I'm doing this. This is where all the marks are. Look, draw a diagram to help visualize all the given information and set all the common reference points and directions. The diagram includes the expected path of the ball. Look, I drew a little path. It goes up a little bit and then the ball comes back down. All right. Then I wrote R. R is final velocity. Why did I do that? Because I want to identify and express the variable that is being solved for in this question with proper notation. V, arrow, final. Nothing's being overlooked here. Analysis. Okay, I picked an equation. Why? Select the appropriate equation that includes the unknown variable and the known given information. I picked this one because it's got V final in it, because that's what I was solving for. I picked this one because the other quantities are known, right? So, the equation used is an equation that is appropriate for non-uniform motion with a constant acceleration. Why does this equation make sense in terms of physics? I had to explain that. If you want to get full marks, you need to make explanations here. All right? Next, what's it say here? Well, what am I doing? Look, I'm rearranging the equation all the way through. I rearranged, and that's what I wrote here. Rearrange the equation to isolate for the required unknown quantity. Understand the quantity of displacement only involves the initial and final position and does not depend on the path. Look what it's got in here. df minus di. df minus di. I'm explaining that. I'm explaining that in this equation, we've got delta d in it. And delta d doesn't matter what the path is. Delta D is you started here and you ended up there. I don't care what happened in between, because what happened in between is not in the equation. But if you want to get full marks, you need to explain that. As I'm telling you again, it's the right side of what you're going to be handing in that has the majority of the marks. The right side. Next, substitute in the values. So look what I put in here. Substitute the values into the equation with the appropriate unit. Look, all the units are in. And direction, plus or minus, it's in there. Follow the rules of BEDMAS for calculation. I'm telling the person who's going to be marking this, me, look, I know the order of how to do this. I'm following that. Then it says in here, select the appropriate mathematical root that that matches the physical reality of the situation. When you solve a root, it's plus or minus, plus or minus. Well, what's the right answer? Is it plus or is it minus? Well, it's minus because it's falling downward. That's what I explained here. I probably could have done a better job in this situation here and probably could have written down, look, I picked the negative root because it's falling down. I probably should have done that, all right? But this is new for me too. So we're all learning together and we're all going to make mistakes. And then last, express the final answer with proper significant digits, right? This is where the marks are, over here. Then what did they want us to do? They wanted us to solve for time. So once again, I explained why I wrote that for the required. I picked an equation. Once again, I explained why I picked that equation. And why is this equation appropriate? Right? I explained that. Then I rearranged the equation to isolate for the variable, right? And then I understand that this is a scalar quantity, right? And that the answer must not be negative. I got to get a positive time. I'm thinking about that. You need to tell me. Then I use the rules of BEDMAS and I express my solution with proper significant digits. So you can either do what I did here, write it out on paper, and just write it out what your explanation is, and I'll mark it. I would appreciate it if you would be a little bit creative. You can see how here I use colors. I was pretending I was in primary school and stuff like that. Just to add a little bit of fun to the situation that we're in. I think it would be neat if you voiced over it or if you videoed it. I don't know. You kids know more about technology than I do, but I would really appreciate it. I think it would be fun and it would add a little bit of color, for lack of a better term, a little bit of creativity to what you're handing in to me. Okay? Now let's continue with the next step. All right, so you're going to submit your work within a quiz. So to do that, I've put the link to where you're going to access this quiz. I put it in today's announcement, all right? You'll see that, and then you're just going to put start quiz. And look, the question comes up. And right in here is a text box to answer your question, but that would be tough to do, to answer that. All right, so what we're going to do is, you see this here? It says insert stuff. You're going to insert your solution here. Where are you going to get your stuff? From your computer, right? And you're going to choose a file to upload. You'll go into your C drive or whatever, and you'll upload a file. Look, what can I find in here? Right? It would be nice if it was in PDF format. That would really be nice. But if it's a picture, JPEG, PNG, that's fine. Okay, I'm going to open it. Right? So there's the file. I'm going to upload it. All right. And I'm going to put a text in there. It says solution, meaning that'll be a hyperlink when I receive this. Insert. There's your answer. So when I get to mark this, right? When I get to mark this, you're going to hit submit quiz. I'm going to open up your quiz. That hyperlink will be there and it'll be connected to your solution that you uploaded. And that's how you do it, and then I'll mark it. So this is what we're doing instead of an exam. Now listen, if you're confused about this, you're not sure what's going on, email me. I'll help you through it. You've been given a generous amount of time to get this done. It's due on June 11th. Okay? But the sooner you get this done, the better. And this is the instruction I received from the principal that this is what we're doing. There won't be a formal exam. I've been asked, just like all your other teachers have been asked, to create something new that we can do with this online environment. But while this is due, we're still learning. I got clear instructions from the principal that we're going to be learning until the end of the school year. All right, so there you go, kids. If you have any questions, please email me and I will help you. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.